Good morning. My name is Samuel Morris and this is Elementary English. I'm glad you're here. Today we're going to identify theme and differentiate it from subject matter by explaining the theme in a narrative text from both the reader's and the writer's perspective. Theme is a super important piece of understanding literature, especially narratives, because it's something that you encounter as a young child all the way through adulthood. So first, it's important that we differentiate a few things. Oftentimes, theme and subject get confused, and it's because they're so closely related, they're actually different things. So first, the subject, just like your subjects in school, tell you what the story is about. So let's take an example, The Adventures of Huckleberry Finn, right? The story is going to be about the adventures of this character. The theme, however, is the message that emerges in this reading. So theme can be explicit, right? It can be said directly, or it can be implicit. It can more or less just exist in a narrative and never actually be said, but by the subject matter and the writing and reading and experience of that piece, the theme or the message that comes about is different than the subject matter, and it's the theme. So although subject and theme are very closely related, it's important for us to know how to identify, differentiate, and explain each of those, especially in texts where those are very related, which is most of the time. So we're going to look at a couple of examples today. Why don't you join me? Our first example is a reference to last week. Last week we just read the very first page of The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe in the Chronicles of Narnia by C.S. Lewis. So without even reading it, right? Without even reading the book, we can already look just based on the cover of the book and that first page and address that subject matter. I have a feeling it's going to be this, travel through a wardrobe into another world. I'm sure it's chock full of adventure, friendships. I imagine that there's a lion and a witch involved. So the subject matter is all of the things that this book is about, right? All of the things that maybe happen and unfold in this book. The theme, however, is developed through our reading. So after reading this book, without any spoilers, right? A theme that could arise would be good versus evil. A theme that could come up is betrayal and forgiveness, courage and transformation. It's these big ideas that the author doesn't necessarily have to say exactly, but we still can agree upon at the end of our reading that that was the theme. That was the message that arose from our reading. We'll read another excerpt right now from a favorite book of mine called The Alchemist by Paulo Coelho. And this is a perfect example of subject and theme being closely related, but very different things. So let's read this example together. The boy didn't know what a person's destiny was. It's what you have always wanted to accomplish. Everyone, when they are young, knows what their destiny is. At that point in their lives, everything is clear and everything is possible. They are not afraid to dream and to yearn for everything they would like to see happen to them in their lives. But as time passes, a mysterious force begins to convince them that it will be impossible for them to realize their destiny. None of what the old man was saying made much sense to the boy, but he wanted to know what the mysterious force was. The merchant's daughter would be impressed when he told her about that. It's a force that appears to be negative, but actually shows you how to realize your destiny. It prepares your spirit and your will, because there is one great truth on this planet. Whoever you are, or whatever it is that you do, when you really want something, it's because that desire originated in the soul of the universe. It's your mission on Earth. Even when all you want to do is travel or marry the daughter of a textile merchant, yes, or even search for treasure, the soul of the world is nourished by people's happiness, and also by unhappiness, envy, and jealousy. To realize one's destiny is a person's only real obligation. All things are one. And when you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it. So, based on our reading of The Alchemist, on our very brief section of The Alchemist that we just read, we can tell the subject matter. It's a conversation between an old man and a young boy. I remember a mention of a search for treasure, marrying the daughter of a textile merchant, some sort of long, elaborate journey, it seems. And we can expect all of those things to happen in the book as their subject matter, the events that unfold. The theme, however, it's said explicitly here, and it's that feeling that comes up, that message that we receive from the old man in this excerpt. It's to follow your heart, to realize your destiny, to pursue your dreams, to believe in what you used to believe in, right? It's this message to believe. And that word believe is never actually said in that book. So theme is this very special thing that doesn't have to be said, but it's still a message that's salient and that's important in our reading. Lastly, I'm going to read a poem. This poem, both just like narrative and like other texts, has a subject and has a theme. So as I read this poem, I'm going to ask you to follow along with me and sort those two out. If something comes across, I want you to think, is this what it's about? Is this the subject? Or is this the message? Is this what the author is trying to get me to understand? Is this what the poet wants to tell me, to whisper to me, to teach me? And is that going to be theme? So as I read this, try to practice sorting those two out. Is this subject? Is this the theme of the poem? So let's look at this poem together. Hope is the Thing with Feathers by Emily Dickinson. Hope is the thing with feathers that perches in the soul and sings the tune without the words and never stops at all. And sweetest in the gale is heard, that sore must be the storm that could abash the little bird that kept so many warm. I've heard it in the chillest land and on the strangest sea, yet never in extremity it asked a crumb of me. So, I'll have you think now. The subject and the theme. The subject, we encountered a thing with feathers, a bird, and we encountered a chilly environment. But the theme and the message, well, I'm going to stop there because that's the beauty of poetry. The theme is the message that arose for you, and oftentimes a group of people will agree on the message that comes about from a piece of literature and even disagree in a healthy way, and that's where it gets really fun and interesting. I think there's a slide after those two. Can we add that one? Yeah, that's perfect. Okay. So, as we wrap things up today, we've experienced subject, or what a story is about, and theme, or the message that arises in a story, in our reading. So reading is experiencing the subject and the theme. Writing, however, is creating that experience for someone else. So if we're to write the subject matter or to write the theme, we start with the subject matter. We start with the explicit, with this is what the story is going to be about. and the theme is the message that arises out of that. Or we start with the theme. We start with a message of, I want to write a book that is going to make people happy, make people feel good about themselves. And then the subject matter, if it's about a varsity football team or a country fighting for independence, or maybe a band writing a song, the subject matter can change as long as you want to keep that theme the same. So reading is experiencing, and writing is creating that experience for others. And oftentimes the best writers are also pretty good readers. Thank you so much for joining me today as we dissected subject matter and theme, those very close cousins that have really different jobs. I hope that it served you well and that it's going to continue to help you as we take a deeper dive into perspective, point of view, and author's purpose in the next few weeks. Again, thanks so much for joining me. My name is Samuel Morris, and this has been Elementary English. We'll see you soon.
Hi, and welcome to Math with Miss Aker. We're going to jump right in with Just Know It. Today we're going to practice some place value because we're going to be learning about decimals and connecting them to fractions that we've been working on. So I'm going to show you some numbers, and what I'm going to do is ask you to tell me what digit is in a certain place. So let's start with this one. So this is 365. In your head, or say out loud right now, what digit is in the tens place? 2,345, what digit is in the ones place? 487, what digit is in the hundreds place? 16, what digit is in the tens place? And last but not least, 6,891, what digit is in the thousands place? All right, let's see if you just knew it, just like that. So we had 365, and we said tens place is the 6. 6 tens equals 60. For the ones place, did you say 5? 5 ones equals 5. For the hundreds place, 4 is in the hundreds place, but 4 equals 4 hundreds, or 400. The tens place, did you say 1? 1 10 equals 10. And last but not least, the thousands place. Did you say 6? 6 thousands equals 6,000. Nice work. Let's move on to figure it out. Okay, so we are going to make equivalent fractions. We've been doing that a lot lately, but here we're going to be doing them with denominators of 10 and 100. So let's take a look. 3 tens equals something out of 100. Well, I'm noticing that this is like breaking it into 10 times more parts. Like if I had a cake and I had 10 slices, but then I cut each of those slices into tiny little bites and I ended up with 100 slices. So I noticed that there's we added a place value there, a 0, and so we can do the same here. So 3 tenths is equal to 30 100ths. Okay, so let's use that knowledge to do this one. 1/10 is equal to 10 out of what? So this is like breaking it up into 10 times as many parts. So now we have a total number of parts of 100 because we went from 1 to 10 in the numerator, so 10 to 100 in the denominator. Okay, 60 out of 100 equals 6 out of something. 60 100ths equal, so use what I know up here. So I know I can kind of think of it like this. Okay, so I have 6 tenths. Nice, figuring out. Okay, 40 out of 100ths equals, oh no, they didn't give us anything there, so let's think about it. I'm going to use that 4 on top, so I can, if I do this, 4 tenths. Oh, and then the last one we get to make our own. Something out of 10 equals something out of 100. Let's do 8. 8 tenths equals, We see the pattern now, 80 100ths. It's like we took that whole and we broke it up into even more parts, but 80 parts is still the same out of 100 as 8 out of 10 was from the original. For what's new, we are moving into decimals, like I said. Here's our learning target. I can relate fractions and decimals of 10 and 100. We're going to use all that we know about fractions. So let's underline fractions. We know numerator out of a denominator, but we also know that fractions are telling us the parts out of a whole. So it could be something that's broken up into parts less than one, or it could be a set of something. And decimals, okay, what do we know about decimals? Well, look at this right here, money. I know that you've seen decimals with money like $1.35. So we're gonna be thinking about what does that decimal point tell us, and what do the numbers after it mean, and how are they related to 10 and 100? So like here, 3 is 3 tenths, but it's not in the tenths place, it's in the tenths place, and this is in the hundredths place, 35, so 35 hundredths. So that might sound a little confusing, but we're gonna work it out together. There's some new words, or it might not be new, but let's review some things that we need to make sure that we're thinking about as we do this. So first of all, the word decimal. So let's remember that a decimal is another way to represent a fraction. So this is a word we want to definitely keep in our minds. When we hear decimal, it just means another way of representing a fractional part. Okay, and then what we use to show that is the decimal point. So that's this period, that dot there, that's the decimal point. It tells us which side is less than 1 and which side is more than 1. So this side of the decimal point is always going to be less than 1, and this side is always going to be whole numbers, 1 or greater. And a couple of things we want to connect here are our tenths. So 1/10 would be a unit fraction, 1/10, and then we also have hundredths. So 1 out of 100. So those are some terms that are going to come up, and I just want you to keep in mind as we're working through the what's new today. Okay, grab your paper, pencil, writing tool, and let's get started on some decimal identification. So this shows a grid and it has 10 parts. It says how many parts are shaded. So let's look, 1, 2, 3, 4. So we have 4 shaded out of 10 total parts. So what fraction does that show? We know that, 4 out of 10. So what decimal does that show? So if we're thinking about our place value chart, we can draw one right here. Ones, then we have tenths, and then we have hundredths. And we know right here is that decimal point that I mentioned earlier. So we don't have a whole, we have no ones, but we do have 4 tenths. So we can write this like this, 0.4. So these two are equal to each other. Let's do this bottom one. How many parts shaded? So this is in groups of 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, so 40. And we can count by tens again, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100. So that fraction is 40 out of 100. What decimal does it show? So we can do our ones, decimal point, tenths, hundredths. I always forget the D in hundredths. So we have, if we put it looks like in this number, in the tenths place, there's a 4, and in the hundredths place, there's a 0. So we can write this as 0.40, 40 hundredths, or it's the same thing as 4 tenths. Let's try this one. Lester says that a dime is 1/10 of a dollar. Luella says a penny is 1/10 of a dollar. Who do you agree with? Use the grids to help show your thinking. So we got R, T, D, W. Read, think, draw, write. Okay, we read it. Let's think about it. What do we know about money? So Lester is mentioning a dime. I'm going to draw a dime as a D like that. And we know that a dime is 10 cents, right? And we know that a penny is 1 cent. Whoopsie. 1 cent, like that. So I know that it takes 100 pennies. 100 pennies to equal $1. And I know that it takes 10 dimes to equal $1. Okay, so that's quite a bit. We need way more pennies to get to $1 than we do dimes. So Lester says that a dime is 1/10 of $1, and Luella says that a penny is 1/10 of $1. Who do we agree with? So let's use these grids. So this could be like $1. If I make these the whole $1. And this one's divided in 10, and I know dimes are each worth 10. So I'm going to shade in one of these, and that will give me 1/10 of that. Okay, and then this one shows 100, and I know that 1 penny is 1/100th. Oh, well, I just said it. This is 1 out of 100, and this is 1/10. So a dime is 1/10, and a penny is 1 out of 100. So we use these models provided for us, so let's write a sentence. Lester is correct that a dime is 1/10 of $1. So now you can see that I've written my sentence and I've proved my thinking. And we are ready for our try it. So today you are going to be trying out some similar problems. Look at the shaded amount here. Tell me how many parts are shaded, how many total parts, what fraction and what decimal does it show for both this grid with 10 and this grid with 100. So if you need to pause it right now to take a look, you can do that to see the shaded parts. And it's time for us to say goodbye. I just want to end with a all set, you bet. I know learning something new or transitioning from something we've been working on for so long, fractions to decimals, might feel a little bit challenging, but I know that you can do it. So I'm going to say all set, and you say you bet. 1, 2, 3. All set, you bet. See you next time.
Hello, I'm Mr. Steinauer, and this is 3rd and 4th grade science. Today we're continuing to talk about simple machines, specifically the lever, the inclined plane, and the pulley. All you'll need for today's lesson is a notebook or a piece of paper and something to write with. That's going to allow you to sketch out what you see me do, which will then help you in the activity when it's your turn. Before we jump right into our lesson, let's get some of our vocabulary back in our head, specifically simple machines, which we talked about last week. Recall that a simple machine is a device that changes the amount of force or the direction of a force. So for example, in a lever, we push down and it pushes up in response. The definition of a lever is something that uses a pivot or fulcrum to push an object up. We've talked about examples of levers. The examples that I brought up in our classroom are scissors, a staple remover, and then we also looked last week at a fun piece of recess equipment that as we push down, it uses force to push us back up. An inclined plane is a little bit different than a lever. An inclined plane is a simple machine that allows us to move up or down as we move forward. Think about stairs that take somebody up to the 2nd floor of a building, or a slide where we climb up to the slide and then we slide down to get back to the ground. Both of those are examples of an inclined plane.
The third and final simple machine that we will fully explore today is the pulley. A pulley is something that pulls an object up while another part is pulled down. A pulley uses wheels, but it's different than a wheel and axle. The round gears that a pulley uses are what allow us to pull down and actually lift something up. Or think about curtains. You might see at a theater or in old movies or shows where they pull something down and the curtains open up. That's a pulley, another simple machine. Today, we're going to build our own lever, inclined plane, and pulley. Then when I'm done, you will build one of these at home and test it. Let's get started. Now, to build a lever, you don't need a whole lot. The key part of a lever is the fulcrum, that middle piece that allows the lever to pivot, just like that. I've just grabbed a little chunk of eraser. You can tell that I've had students in here, the notorious mark of a student. And also I'm going to use a pencil. So these are the only two things I'm using for my lever. We don't need that. So using my pencil and my eraser, I'm going to create a lever that's going to allow me to push down, and then I will actually launch this pencil by pushing down. The lever is going to take the force that I push down and use it to send the force upward. That change in the direction of the force, that's a simple machine. That's what tells us that a lever is a simple machine. So here I've got my little eraser fulcrum. I might have to experiment with how I have this laid out so that it'll kind of set like so. And then if I take one end and I push down, you see that my pencil tilts up. But of course, if I use more force, it's going to change the direction of that force and it's going to increase the amount of force. Now, that may be something that you've done in a classroom when your teacher wasn't looking. Maybe it's something that you've done at home. That's something that you can do at home using different objects. You might try a spoon and something else as your fulcrum. You might even try a pencil and an eraser. So quickly jot this down. If I were to sketch this, I might, instead of the trapezoidal shape here, I might just have like a triangle and then have a line across as the rest of my lever. Or I might have it tilting toward one end and then the triangle as the fulcrum there in the middle. Go ahead and sketch that out so that you can have a lever in your mind in case you decide to build a lever at home. Next, I'm going to build an inclined plane. An inclined plane is a ramp. It takes us up or down as we go forward. So I already mentioned slides and stairs as inclined planes. Any ramp that you might see something launch off of is an inclined plane. Our schools are also ADA accessible. That means we have wheelchair access throughout the building. A lot of the times in schools, those are ramps. Ramps are inclined planes that we see very often. And it's not too hard to make one either. So I'm going to take my cup. I'm keeping the cup this time. Don't need these. And I'm going to use some tape here too. In your head, you might already have a thought as to what I could do to use tape and a cup to make an inclined plane or a ramp. So an inclined plane is pretty simple to design. An inclined plane can also serve as a wedge, but we will talk about wedges next week. Maybe you're thinking about what you're going to do. Maybe you're going to make an inclined plane like I am. Maybe you're going to do something different. As I'm making this, go ahead and sketch out how I'm doing it, or the basic shape of an inclined plane. What's the shape that best describes an inclined plane? Yeah, a triangle. It's flat here, angled here, and then just goes up and down right here. Exactly. All right, so I grab my pencil, and now I can test my pencil out. I could test it either way. I could roll it up, or I could let it roll down. First, I'm gonna let it roll down. Now you may have noticed I just barely tapped on that, right? Then look at how fast it rolls down that hill. In no time it's off the table already. So this ramp or inclined plane not only changed the direction of the force that I used, I just pushed this way, but it went toward me and down. But it also changed the amount of force, right? I just barely tapped on that pencil. If it were on a desk, it would hardly move at all. But thanks to the force in this inclined plane, that pencil actually gained speed and went faster as it rolled down. What's nice about this is it's easy cleanup too. Hopefully you choose something to make your inclined plane, if that's the simple machine you decide to make. Hopefully you choose something that's easy to clean up too. Maybe you'll use a book and a binder or something to put under it. Maybe you've got something totally different in mind. Maybe an inclined plane is not the simple machine you want to build. Next, I'm going to assemble a pulley. Now, pulleys are really handy because depending on the pulley itself, you can be able to pull even 10 times the amount of force up as you pull down. So pulleys are really great about increasing the amount of force that we use on an object. They also change the direction of a force. I'm going to show that by making a horizontal tabletop pulley here. So I've got a string, I've got an eraser, I've got tape, and my cup. My cup is going to be the point around which the pulley turns. So I'm going to tape my cup down. So I've got my pulley kind of set up here. I've got my cup taped to my table. I've got a string. I'm going to pull that string down, and I'm also going to tie this string to my eraser. If I need to, I'll add a little bit of tape too, just to keep it secure. So I've got my eraser here. I'm going to use the force of my own pull down to move this eraser toward the cup. This is how a pulley works. As I pull toward me, the eraser gets pulled in the opposite direction. That's a pulley. You might want to sketch this out as well. Or maybe you want to sketch a vertical version with where my cup would be up here and the pulley would go around it. As you pull down, you lift the eraser up. When you've got everything all sketched out, or you've got in your head which simple machine you're going to make at home, go for it. Because now it's your turn. You're going to either create a lever, an inclined plane, or a pulley, and demonstrate or show a loved one how it works. Describe how the force is changed in direction and or the amount of force too. You're becoming better and better at identifying and categorizing simple machines. And soon you'll be an expert in building them. If you want, you can even extend this and you can create all three. You can create a lever, a pulley, and an inclined plane and explain each one to a loved one. As always, it's been my pleasure having you in class today, friends. My name is Mr. Steinauer, and I'll see you next week.
Welcome back to PE with Coach K. We are glad to have you back. I am outside once again, wonderful weather. So I hope if you're watching this, that it's nice outside as well. So go ahead and go outside if you can watch this video outside. And if not, you can do it inside. No biggie, but I decided to do this outside today. It is wonderful out, and I want to take advantage of it. So for our next segment on jumping rope, last week we learned a couple of basic skills that helped me learn how to jump. It may help you, it may not. Everybody's different, everybody's ability is different. But I'm just giving you what I experienced, and hopefully it works for you. So this segment is for people that are ready to go further into jumping rope. You got the basic skills down, and you kind of want to take it up a notch and learn some different skills in jumping rope. So once again, jumping rope is good for your heart. It's good for your health because your heart deals with your health. So when jumping rope, it is working on your cardiovascular fitness. Cardiovascular is dealing with your heart and your lungs. So when you are jumping rope, your heart rate is going to go up, and that is good. But you also want to make sure you stay hydrated. So there's two things that I want you to have today. A rope, obviously, and some water just handy right next to you if you need to pause the video and take a sip or take a little break. Whatever works for you. So before we get started, we're going to warm up just a little bit like we did last time, warming up the wrists and our legs, just so we are prepared for what we're going to do today. So I just want you to take your wrists, roll them out a couple times, roll them out, and then reverse. Maybe you go slower, and then reverse inside. Go ahead and take your right hand or whichever hand, put it out, palm facing outward. Grab your fingers, pull them towards you. Don't pull too hard. If it starts to hurt, let it loose a little bit. And then go ahead and flip that same hand like you're showing your fingernails or a ring or something, bracelet. Pull your fingers back with your palm facing towards you. We're going to take the other hand, do the same thing. Palm facing outwards, pulling your fingers back. And now flip, pulling your fingers back as well. Okay, go ahead and shake them out. Maybe you shake them to the right, shake them to the left, shake them up, shake them down, shake them out. But we kind of want to get those wrists ready for the work that it's going to be doing today. All right, we're done with our wrists. Let's go ahead and stretch our legs out a little bit. So I want you to take your right leg or whichever leg you would like to start with. We're going to go in a simple lunge where your front knee is bent and your back leg is straight. And you're just going to lean forward just a little bit. If you can go deeper, you can take it deeper if you're more flexible. If not, you can stay right up here and just hold it for about 10 seconds. 5 more. 3, 2, 1. Now we're going to take our opposite leg, because whatever we do on one side, we have to do on the other. Even it out. Lunge forward. Front knee is bent. Back leg is straight. Lean forward. If you would like a deeper stretch, you can go deeper. If not, you stay where it's comfortable. Hold it for about 10 more seconds. 4, 3, 2, and 1. So go ahead and shake it out. I have one more stretch for us to do. I want you to pull your knee towards your chest. And this is also going to work on some balance as well. Pulling it up towards you and try to hold it. About 5 more seconds. If you get off balance, it's okay. That's supposed to happen. 3, 2, 1. We're going to do the same thing on the other side. Pull it towards your chest. Try to stand up tall. Make sure this standing leg is straight so you can hold your balance. Whoop. It's okay. 5 more seconds. 3, 2, and 1. All right, give your legs a good shake. Wrist another shake before we get started. Now it's time to grab your rope. Whatever rope you have at home, maybe you don't have a rope. You can always use, now this is something that I've used before. You can take a telephone extension cord, if we still have those in our house. Take a telephone extension cord, tie it up at the ends where the cord is, where you input for the telephone. Tie those up and use those as your ends. You can cut it and make sure that it is long enough or short enough for you. So I have to roll mine up. This rope is a little long, but rolling it up one time works for me. So do whatever works for you. So for our number one, or our first jump skill that I'm going to teach you today, just a basic jump where we just single jump, where you turn and jump. And we'll start off slow, but I want you to listen to me because I'll tell you to pick it up fast as we go. Now, if you want to slow it back down, you can. But we're going to go for 30 seconds just to see how long we can go. If you stop in between, it's okay, because you may see me stop in between, so it's okay. But we'll just do our basic jump, and I'll show you what it looks like from the side. Just a single jump. Maybe you go even slower, or maybe you pick the pace up and go a little faster. But we're going to do our basic jump for 30 seconds. Don't worry about if you stop. If you stop, just keep going when you can. But we only have 30 seconds. So let's go ahead and get started. Are you ready? If not, you don't have a choice. You better get ready. We are starting in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Basic jump. Remember, you are using your wrist to turn. Maybe you slow it down. Make sure you breathe in between. If you stop, it's okay. We have 10 more seconds to go. 5, 4, can you speed it up? 3, 2, 1, and stop. Okay? Our basic jump is done. If you would like, you can always pause the video, go back to the basic jump, and practice the basic jump before we move into something else. So our second jump rope skill that we are going to do today is we're going to do a double jump. Now the double jump is similar to a basic jump, but you're jumping double. So you're jumping 2 times, where you jump 2 times in between. So I'm going to demonstrate where you turn, jump, 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 jump. So similar to the basic jump, but you are just jumping twice in between. If you want to go back to the basic jump, you can, and then make your way to the double jump. So we'll do that for 30 seconds. Catch your breath. Lord knows I need to catch mine. So let's go ahead and get started in 5, 4, 3, 2. We're doing our double jump, and 1. Go. Jump, 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 jump. Jump, jump. Make sure you breathe. Jump, 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 jump. Maybe you turn. Whoop. Try to get a little fancy. If you stop, it's okay. Jump, jump. Only 10 more seconds. Whoop. Got off track a little bit. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and time. That was our double basic jump, is what I call it. It may not be called that, but I call it the double basic jump. Remember, you can always reverse back, rewind back to whichever one you'd like to practice before you move to the next. So go ahead, grab a sip of water if you need it. I know you do, because I know I do. Because when you are jumping rope, it is cardiovascular endurance. It's going to help you with your cardiovascular fitness. Cardio deals with your heart and your lungs. Your heart rate goes up, and it is good for your health. So I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope that you enjoyed the 3 simple, somewhat complicated jump rope skills today. Remember, you can always come back to this and practice as long as you need to. But I'm so happy that you stay with me. Continue to stay active 60 minutes a day if you can. Do what you can and have fun while doing so. Thank you, and see you again next week.
Okay, welcome back. This is Mr. Gardner again. I'm from Southeast High School. I'm the band director. Today we're going to actually be playing on a real snare drum, okay? So we kind of moved away from the practice pad, which I like the practice pad. Practice pads are good too, you know, if you stay in an apartment or a duplex, you don't really want to disturb the neighbors, so you want something that's going to be kind of quiet. So practice pads are good. Plus, if you're traveling a lot, the kids are in the back seat, it's okay. Let them bang on the practice pad. It keeps them occupied. You won't get bored, okay? So today we're going to talk about stick control, okay? So we're going to have some stick control exercises. One reason for this is so that you can learn to control the sticks, okay? Being a good percussionist, you have to really have control of the sticks. Where you're using sticks or mallets, you need to be able to control them, okay? So today we're going to be really dealing with that. Now, when you're playing the snare drum, or if you're playing the drum set, no, I shouldn't say drum set, but if you're playing the snare drum, and if you're playing in concert band or marching band, one thing that you're taught is that the right hand leads, okay? So whenever you start off playing, it's always going to be their right hand that's going to lead, okay? And if you see, as I went down, my left came up, okay? Even if I was doing it traditional grip, it's going up, okay? Right hand leads, okay? Some people say left, right hand leads, all right? Especially when you're marching, right hand leads, okay? So we're gonna do some stick control exercise. We're gonna try it both ways. This is match, and this is traditional, okay? So let's start off match grip, okay? And we're gonna play some of the exercises that's in front of you. That's exercise sheet number 1. We're gonna play some, I'm gonna mix things up. I'm not gonna go in order. We're just going to go so we can actually get our sticking together, okay? Because I want to make sure that we're using our wrists, okay? And we're not using our arm. We're not doing this. We're actually doing this, okay? All the power is in your wrist. It is not in your arm, okay? So if you see your friends playing and they just banging away like that, that's wrong, okay? It should be all wrists, all right? So let's play a little bit. Let's look at our first line, okay? So we got like right, 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 left, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left. Okay, so let's try that, all right? And we want to make sure that we're using good strokes, okay? I'm not concerned about speed. I'm concerned about accuracy and making sure that we have good posture, okay? So let's do that. Let's start with the top line. Let me count you off. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, 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 left, 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 right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left. Great. See how smooth that is when you play that? When you're using your wrist? It's just smooth like butter, okay? All right, so let's jump down to line number 3, where now we're actually playing 3 strokes instead of 4, okay? All right, so let's try that. Let me count us off again. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, 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 left, 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 right, left, right, right, left, left. All right? That's a little odd because we're not playing on 4, we're playing on 3. And remember, the right hand was leading, okay? So now we're gonna switch it up. Now, if something is written on music that says right or left, you wanna go by what the music says, okay? If you're playing a drum cadence or if you're playing something with the marching band, it's gonna always be right hand leads, okay? But if you're reading sheet music and it specifies which sticking to use, you wanna definitely go by what the composer wrote on the music, okay? That you do not wanna alter. You wanna make sure that you're using whatever they write on the music, do that, okay? But if you're playing a drum cadence, it's right hand lead, okay? So let's jump down to line number 4, okay? And we still in that 3/4 time, and the 3 means right. There's 3 beats in the measure, okay? So that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to switch it up where actually the music is telling us that the left hand is leading, okay? So we're going to do that now, all right? So I'm going to count it off. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Left, 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 right, 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 left, right, left, left, right, right. Okay? You kind of see the pattern where things are switching up, where the right hand is leading, then the left hand is leading, and then one ends on the left and one ends on the right, okay? That's just how things happen, all right? So let's jump down to, let's see, the 3rd line from the bottom, okay? And now we're actually in I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So I see 6 notes per bar. Okay, so that's a little different, all right? But it's still, as long as you read that music and you count out loud, loud and proud, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Left, 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 right, 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 left, right, left, left, right, right. Great job. Good job. You counted and you also was counting out loud and you watch your sticking. That's very, very, very important. Okay, so let's go to the second line from the bottom. Okay, let's do that one now. Okay, you ready? Now, what hand is leading? You're right, it's the right hand. The right hand is leading, okay? Let's switch up now. So we played 2, that was traditional grip. So now we're gonna switch to match grip, okay? So we're gonna play the next 2 playing match grip, okay? Again, make sure that you have good posture. Make sure that you're using your wrist and you're not using your arm. Even though we're changing stick position, the process is still the same, okay? You still wanna have good posture and you still wanna make sure that you're using your wrist, okay? So again, let's start with the second line from the bottom that's in front of you, okay? Here we go, I'm gonna count it off. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, 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 left, left, left. Let's do that again. Right, left, right, right, left, right, left, left, right, 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 left, 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 left. Great job. You sound great. You're cooking. You're trying to take my job. You guys sound excellent. Okay, so let's go to the last line on our sheet of exercise number 1. Okay, and we're going to play the last line. Now, remember, we're switching with the lead. We've been leading with the right and the left, so the last line is leading with what hand? Left. You're right. Just because I had my right hand up, that was a trick to see if you was watching, okay? So, but you're leading with your left hand, all right? So let's play the last line, okay? Here we go. Going to count it off. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, left, 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 right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. Good. Let's play that one again, okay? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Left, right, left, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right. Good. You did an excellent job playing sheet number 1 with our exercises, stick control. Now let's jump to sheet number 2, where we're going to mix things up and make things a little more challenging, okay? So let's go to that sheet now. Okay, so let's look at our sheet exercise, sheet number 2 exercise, okay? Again, we're still dealing with stick control. And as you see, the sheet is a little different from the one that we did with sheet 1. Sheet 2 is a little different, okay? Now, this sheet, majority of the time, really all of the time, you're leading with the right hand, okay? The left hand is not leading on this sheet at all, okay? The sticking starts with the right, okay? All right, so let's jump right in and let's play, okay? So let's look at the top line on this sheet, sheet number 2, and let's play that, okay? Now remember, you can count the sticking. It's 4 beats in each phrase, okay? So that's where we at, and looks like that's the whole sheet. We're dealing in 4s, okay? So let's play that line. Let's play line 1 and 2, okay? So let's do that. Here we go. Let me count it off for you. And we're playing match grip, all right? Right, left, 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 right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left. Okay, great job playing that, okay? Let's jump down and play the second half, okay, of this. So we're going to play lines 3 and 4, okay? Lines 3 and 4, here we go. I'm going to count it off, here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, right, right, left, left, Good job. Wow, you are just rolling right along, okay? So let's jump down and try the last phrase, okay? So we're gonna do the last 2 lines from the bottom, okay? The last 2 lines from the bottom. All right, you ready? Here we go. 1, 2, ready, play. Right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, left, right, 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 left, 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 right, 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 left, 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 left. Great job. You guys did a great job playing today. You're just getting better, better, and better, okay? Or as the old people say, you're getting gooder, gooder, and gooder, okay? So this is going to end our segment for this week. You guys did a fantastic job. I enjoyed playing and working and teaching with you guys. Next week, we're going to have more fun, okay? Again, I'm Mr. Gardner at Southeast High School. I'm the band director, and I will see you next week.
I am Lincoln Middle.
At Lincoln Middle School, students discover their talents and passions, where teachers plant the seeds of lifelong learning.
I am Lincoln Middle.
Where excellence is nurtured. Students develop the skills to be successful in school, career, and beyond.
Je suis Lincoln Middle.
Lincoln Middle is the public school where your child will thrive and grow. Open a world of possibilities. Apply today. Learn more at enrollkc.org/Lincoln Middle.